a freezing cold day in the United Kingdom. What's not freezing is cryptocurrencies, with altcoins coming back pretty hard over the last 24 hours. But check this out. In the top 10, XRP outperformed everybody with a 29% pump in the last 7 days. In the last 24 hours, not too bad. Cooled off slightly now by 0.3%, but basically performed the same as pretty much everybody else. Ethereum did pretty well and is as such still in the green, but everybody did pretty well, right? With a note that XRP in the last week has been the best performer of all the large cap tokens. Cardano coming in pretty close at second place. And then, of course, we have Avalanche also doing 24.95%. But today is all about Stellar with that massive pump. Cooling off slightly, of course, to be expected. Went up a little bit fast. I'm going to talk about Stellar in a bit. But guys, there is an avalanche of ETFs, man. I was looking at the ETFs that are currently running on the, Bitcoin ETFs anyway. And there are so many of them. I know we only think about the big ones, BlackRock, Fidelity, yada, yada, right? But there are many ETFs that are running and more waiting for approval, right? Pending. I mean, there's one called HODL. Where is it? I saw it earlier on. HODL. I mean, it's a great name, obviously. There it is, HODL by Van Eck Bitcoin ETF, right? And it's called HODL. Absolutely fantastic. I mean, like, how do they get that ticker? That's crazy. It obviously has nothing to do with their actual name. Most of the other ETFs would have, something similar to their name, like the ARK Invest one, or, the ARK KW, or anything to do with Grayscale would be G something, right? But I thought that was quite funny. iShares, the IBIT. But then, there's lots of Ethereum ones also running already. I know we haven't seen much action or much noise about the Ethereum ETFs, but, they're there and their inflows, many pending, as you can see, pending. Also, there are Solana ETFs pending approval, XRP ETF pending approval. Apparently, there's a Dogecoin ETP in Europe at the moment, which means it's only a matter of time before somebody applies for a Dogecoin ETF, especially now with its association with the Department of Government Efficiency, even though it's not an official association by proxy via, Elon Musk the Great himself. Today, I want to talk about Stellar. So why is Stellar suddenly pumping so hard? And why is everyone talking about Stellar all of a sudden? And what are the prospects of Stellar actually doing great in this bull market? Is the Stellar run over, or are we going to make millions on our Stellar Lumens holdings? It was interesting. I saw a tweet today by Stellar.org. Stellar having more on and off ramps than any other chain is just one reason building is better on Stellar. Love seeing our community continue to grow. And then there's this graphic that shows 1.7 million total commits, 494 active monthly devs. That's a lot. And that represents a growth of 91%. And then you have 9,610 monthly commits, which represents over 100% growth. Those are staggering numbers, I'm going to be honest with you. I commented there, nice, because I was quite impressed by that graphic, right? What that means is that there's a lot of activity happening on the Stellar blockchain, guys. A lot of people are building. And why are they building? Because Stellar has made it easy for them to build, right? So the easier it is to build, the more you're going to attract builders, developers, with all other things remaining equal, that is, of course. All the other boxes obviously also been ticked by Stellar, one of which is by having a solid foundation in terms of their blockchain being incredibly good design. Remember, it's a fork of the XRP ledger. So already they're standing on a very solid foundation when it comes to the blockchain. So technology wise, they're on very good standing, right? But this is the big one, right? One set of standards, global access. So they've made it absolutely easy to the point that building on Stellar, it's pretty much plug and play for many of these organizations. And as someone who's worked in the technical department of financial institutions in the past, I can tell you that these financial institutions are very slow to move. They don't want anything to break. They don't want to have to change anything on their side. So a financial institution would much rather have a system that just accepts them, rather than they have to change what they're doing to fit into any new system. So if you can approach a big organization with a system that's just plug and play, then you're off to the races. You have a higher chance of working with that organization. So I'm not surprised that we're getting a lot of developers that are building on Stellar because they've made it easy. Stellar Ramps is a suite of open standards enabling your application to connect to a global network of anchors operating on the Stellar network. With one seamless integration, you can access the fiat to digital on and off ramps provided by anchors and other new payments and onboarding services to your users worldwide. That is music to the ears of financial institutions or companies that have to deal with payments. Just the plug and play. They don't have to deal with the regulations. They don't have to deal with the geeky stuff. They just have their system. They have this suite of APIs, I can imagine, and they just plug it and it goes, right? Expanding financial services. Stellar Ramps is the simplest way for your application to partner with anchors without custom integration. Yep, that's what I just said. Using one set of interoperable standards, you can integrate with anchors to access new users and markets, seamless compliance services, yep, and new payment services such as global cash in and out destinations. So again, organizations want to access the market. They don't want to deal with the legal stuff. They don't want to deal with the compliance stuff. They have to do a lot of that already in-house. You know, they have in-house lawyers, in-house accountants, in-house CPAs, whatever, compliance experts. And there's a lot of regulation, especially in countries like the UK. We have the Data Protection Act. We have the GDPR. They have to deal with all that stuff. And every single financial transaction, every single record that they hold and keep, they have to account for it, make sure it's compliant with the law. So changing all that around to fit into a different system that they've never seen before, that's a no, right? So if you can provide them with something you just plug in and it just works, and then they don't have to do anything extra, and you know, the Stellar network is just what they call a data processor, then they are up for it. Okay, Anchor's business transferring value from fiat to digital or digital to fiat on and off Stellar network. Wallets, applications enable users to buy, hold, and transact with digital assets. So we're moving away from the old school when it comes to cryptocurrencies. If you've been here long enough, you're used to, or you remember those days when you had to sort of memorize or like, you know, you had to deal with all sorts of like weird keys and really janky wallets, all of them incompatible with each other, etc. Now we have systems that just plug and play, everything's seamless. And that will attract a heck of a lot of investment from the establishment. I know that we're rooting for the establishment a little bit now, which is a bit crazy because we used to be anti them. I think most of us have realized that we need the establishment money in order to reach the places we need to reach, especially financially. Not financial advice, talking of financially, do your own research, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.